So we're back working on this 2009 Colorado. It was here a week ago and I diagnosed a problem with the fuse center. This relay specifically, which is a run crank relay, not supplying power to one of the fuses over here that basically wakes up the PCM. It's been driven with this cover missing on the fuse panel, and that allows the Mother Nature to get in here, the salt oxidation to get into the relay center. So we're going to change this fuse panel. This is a previously enjoyed one out of southern or western Canada, and it looks pristine. It came with the cover. You cannot buy this cover from General Motors anymore. It's discontinued, so the only source is a wrecking yard. This part is actually available fairly economical, but stock was a problem. They said 2 to 3 weeks to get it. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery and remove this relay center and replace it. So basically disconnect the negative battery cable and put it off to the side. Remove these two nuts on this maxi fuse. That's probably for the alternator output wire. And then loosen the 4 wiring harness retaining bolts. There are 4 clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 clips around the outside at the bottom that you have to lift up on the fuse panel while undoing the connectors, as you see here. And hopefully these are going to release soon, and I'll pick up when I get this camera out of the way. As I mentioned, there is a clip here, 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 and here that you have to release, as well as these 4 bolts from the top that hold the connectors in place, and then you have to pull gently up on it. Now there's another harness, looks like main power feeds here, that have to be unplugged once you lift the fuse panel up. Now I'm looking at these connectors and I see some evidence of green in here, so we're going to have to deoxidize. You can see all the pins are all oxidized in here. We're going to have to deoxidize these pins and blow them off. Hopefully that's going to make them live. So I'm going to use this deoxidizing spray on these terminals to hopefully neutralize any acid residue, salt residue that's in here, and then I'm going to blow it out with compressed air and then spray it with brake cleaner and dry it out. So I'm going to get rid of this camera while I blow it out. So I've blown all the connections out and sprayed them with brake cleaner, blew them out a second time, put a liberal coating of dielectric grease. I'm using this Clean Flow Brake Easy Slide, but it's also synthetic dielectric grease, as you can see. And we're ready to reinstall this. I just got to put some cleaner on here and clean up these 2 main feed wires with a feed wire terminals with a Rolox sanding disc, and we'll put the fuse panel in. So there's the new used fuse box installed. It's a little dusty, but dust is okay. I don't mind dust. Now I'm going to make sure that none of the fuses are different and all of the relays are in the appropriate spots. And I already took this 125 amp maxi fuse out and cleaned the lugs on it and cleaned the terminals underneath here. So we're ready to go. I'm going to replace this battery ground cable end. I don't like these universal cable clamps. They will corrode. So I'm going to solder lugs on the battery cable and put another different style battery cable end on there. Or a battery post, a marine one. So I do notice something different here. I see there's a diode here and a diode here. Yet in this fuse panel we have this diode, but in this location we have a 15 amp fuse. And according to the fuse cover here, that's supposed to be a AC clutch clamping diode. And there is another diode out here for the wiper. So somebody's put a fuse in there, and that could cause, a fuse would be a dead short, I think. I'd be surprised if that wasn't burnt. Or if the fuse for the AC clutch, which I'm not sure where it is. That's the AC compressor relay right there. Well, we'll make sure the AC works after the fact. So we replaced this battery universal cable clamp. These are notoriously crap in my opinion. I use these marine ones and solder copper lugs on the battery cable like this, heat shrink them. So that's the negative battery cable replaced. Fuse panel's in. We're going to run it and check it for codes. Make sure the AC compressor cycles now because of that diode that was in the spot where it shouldn't have been, or the fuse was in place of the AC clutch diode. So we're going to do a network code scan now and make sure there's no codes in any of the computers. There could be some codes from disconnecting the cables and battery and such. Class 2 data link fault. That's probably due to me disconnecting the cables. Left front tire pressure sensor. Yeah, it's probably missing the tire pressure sensors. So we're going to go ahead and do a network code clear. Most GMs let you do this with the vehicle running. That was quick. All codes cleared out 12 controllers. And let's do a follow-up post scan again. Come on, one more computer. Okay, no codes in any controllers. So we'll go back into the engine control and have a look at that AC compressor clutch. Make sure it's working. Data. It's probably an accessory data, the AC compressor clutch. I haven't heard it cycle yet, but it's probably on heat because it is cold outside. There's the AC compressor. Relay short, no. AC request, no. So I'll just turn the AC on and make sure it works. Yep, the AC compressor works fine, or at least it engages. So that's it for now. Call that one a wrap. Give it back to the customer. Thanks for watching. The phone with the customer. I asked them if their AC had worked. They bought the vehicle in June or July last year, and they said no, the AC didn't work. So here is the AC clutch diode that somebody replaced with a 15 amp fuse. That would create a dead short in the circuit, and the AC clutch fuse is a 10 amp fuse here. So the 10 amp fuse would likely blow. So let's have a look at the fuse panel and see which one that is. Here it is here. So it's the AC clutch fuse right there. That 10 amp one right there next to the AC relay. Right there. So let's have a look at the fuse panel that I took out. So that's, oh, hang on, let me zoom back out again. So that'll be this fuse right here. Let's see. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but that fuse is blown wide open because somebody put a 15 amp fuse in place of the AC compressor clutch clamping diode right here. Should be a diode like this one right here. This one's for the wiper. Oh well, bonus footage.